grab a drink, light a candle, and let's bitch. So she's teething really bad. And it's like those two upper teeth. Mm-hmm. Like she had a slight fever. I gave her Tylenol. I did like Oragel, cold binkies. She slept 2 hours, did great, had her nice nap. And then I was like, great, it's going to be a good afternoon. Like we're over it. No.
It was your fault for thinking that, because that means it's not going to happen.
It was my fault. It was absolutely my fault for thinking that. But she was a hellion.
Oh,
and
no.
she had pasta for the first time today. I gave it to her for dinner.
What? That's so exciting.
She loved it, but it was in her ears. It was in her hair. Part of it made it to her toes. I don't know how that happened.
Do you have pictures?
I did not take pictures. I should. Listen, it is so bad. I take so many pictures of her that whenever we're in the moment doing something like that, I completely zone out, that I forget. I have 0 pictures from her first Thanksgiving.
That's good though. Because that means you were living in the moment with her instead of just living on the phone with her.
Exactly.
So
it is. And I'm happy for
fine.
it. But I turned around and I'm like, everybody was here for Thanksgiving. No one took a picture.
Yeah.
So that sucks.
I would have took a picture for you. I'll come to Thanksgiving next year.
That works. You come to Thanksgiving, you take all the pictures for me, because we'll have 2. All right. What do you got for me today?
So I wanted to start the day out. So I think we're going to discuss dating stories today.
Okay.
Because we did Valentine's Day last week and we did like Valentine's Day stories. I think going into dating stories would be a cool little segue into some other episodes in the future.
Okay.
So I have a story for you that I did ask permission to tell this story. I don't think I've ever told it to you before, but it is like one of the best days of my life. And the person who this story is about she says it all the time about the fact that it was the best day of my life because it was absolutely hilarious.
Okay.
So, as you know, but the world does not know, I work in a restaurant and we have like a couple different tiers of managers, but our top manager store level wise is our GM. So my GM's name's Emily. When I started working there was a server there, and her name was Sarah. My manager's name's Emily, the server's name was Sarah. And I didn't, like, really know the servers that well because, like, I was new in the kitchen. I stayed with the kitchen people. I didn't really know the servers until I got to the point, like, in training where I got to talk to them a little more. And then all of a sudden, Sarah was, like, leaving to go to a different store that was farther away from her house. And I was like, why would you go to a different store farther away from your house? I don't understand how that works. And then it came out that Emily and Sarah wanted to be in a relationship together. Emily was like, I'm not going to date you if you're still working in the store because we could both get in a lot of trouble. So if you want this to be a thing, you have to move to a different store. So she moved to a different store. So then one day we get this random health inspection and the health inspector comes in and she's real anxious because it's a health inspection. And, you know, that's just how she is. She's like, oh my God, health inspector's here. We always do fine. The restaurant's clean. Everything always goes well. And she comes up to me and she goes, oh my God, the health inspector is Sarah's dad.
Oh no.
I was like, what do you mean Sarah's dad? And we have like another Sarah that works there. And I was like, all right, I don't know what the problem is. And she goes, no, my Sarah. He doesn't know we're together yet.
Does he know that she's gay?
No, he didn't know that she was gay. I think she was like she was separated from her husband, like getting divorced from her husband. They had like either 2 or 3 kids, like I'm not really sure, but they have kids together. And she wasn't like originally from the States. She moved up here like during the divorce to be closer. I assume to be closer to family because like this is where her dad lives. So she comes up and she goes, oh my God, the health inspector is Sarah's dad. And I was like, ha! I'm like, that is hilarious. I'm like, this is great. And there's multiple times she's freaking out. She's having the worst time. She comes up to me and she's like, I need help. I need moral support. And I was like, I am not your person. I'm like, this is hilarious. I'm like, I'm not even here for moral support. I'm just cracking up the whole time. She's like, she comes up and she's like, I'm having a heart attack. I'm like, you're fine. You're doing great. And she's like, no, I'm not going to be okay.
I love it. You're like, I'm not your guy. It is not me. Not today.
Yes.
That is insane.
Like, you want me for moral support? Like, it's
first
not me.
off, I love that. I mean, I'm sorry that she went through a divorce and that, you know, broken home and everything. But I always make the joke to Mike because we've been together for so long, I'm like, if God forbid anything were to happen with our relationship and it doesn't work out, I am never trying this with a man again. Like, I'm just, no. It took me so many years to like house train him. Like, I'm not doing that again. Like, I 100% would be like, I'm just going to try women for a while. So I love that was like, her thing. But oh my God, her dad was the health inspector. Okay, so obviously you guys passed the health inspection, but did it come out that day, or did she like did she introduce herself and like out the girlfriend?
Well, wait, it gets better. No. So she comes up to me and she's like, he's in the office and my phone's like on the desk and I'm so scared she's gonna send me a message, because I sent her a message that her dad was here, and she's like, I was stupid and I left my phone on the desk and I'm scared he's gonna like, she's gonna message, he's gonna look at the screen and see his daughter's name. So she's freaking out. Absolutely hilarious. It was, when I say it was the best day of my life, it was absolutely incredible. So something like, I don't remember if there was something with our ice machine going on, but we ended up having to like throw all of our ice away, and we had to go buy new ice, because that's what happens. Like, you do what the health inspector says, or you have to close. Right. Like,
no matter what it is.
Those are your only two choices. So she's like, if we need to throw our ice away, we'll throw the ice away. We'll go buy ice. So that's what we did. And he said something, and he was just like, I don't remember how it went exactly, but they were talking about the ice machine, and he's like, it's really nice to be honest, because you wouldn't want to end up being caught up in a lie later. And then he was like, all right, have a good day. And she's like, he has to know.
He has
to know, because that's what he said.
That is so ominous. Like, that's like a Disney villain right there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Exactly. But she was just like, oh, he has to know, because you wouldn't want to be caught up. It's better to tell the truth, because you wouldn't want to be caught up in a lie later. So I don't know when they ended up telling him. I don't know if it was later that day, or like if they all went out to get dinner together. I don't know how it actually happened, but they ended up like telling him that story later. And I was like, it is absolutely hilarious. And they're married now, so like it all worked out. So
that's insane.
You know, but yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah.
I can't believe you've never told me that story before.
Well, I did specifically ask permission, because I talk about it like all the time at work. Like, anytime it's brought up, I say how it was the best day of my life. And it comes up like pretty often.
I love how you just got married and you're like, nah, this was the best day of my life.
It was. It was just, I live for the drama. Guys, I live for the drama. So if I have the option to be dramatic.
You really are, though. Like, I've never noticed this about you till just now. You really are like the little squirrel friend in the corner, and you're like, drama? Like, twinkling your fingers together.
They also say at work, because like, I don't want to be included in the drama. I just want to sit by and watch. So they're like, you're never like the one included in it.
You're just an observer.
But once it started, you will sit there and stir the pot. And I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely, I will. I'm like, I feel like that's part of the job. Exactly. I'm like, I need to observe. I need to like throw in my little 2 cents here and there. And then I'm just going to go about my day and watch everyone else freak out around me.
Oh my God.
It's so, there's just a feeling about it. It's so great. But yeah, I did a couple days ago. I asked permission. I was like, I'm starting a podcast. Do you mind if I tell your Meet the Parent story?
That's insane. That's a really good Meet the Parent story.
It's hilarious. Do you have a fun Meet the Parent story?
Yeah.
When you met Mike's parents?
Yeah. When I met Mike's parents. So Mike was dating a girl, and she ended up being my maid of honor.
Uh-huh.
But we were just friends, and he invited me over to his house. He's like, hey, come to my house after school. Like, you know, I think he wanted me to like give him a haircut or something or whatnot. And we get to the house, and, you know, his sister comes home because she was in like middle school at the time. And his mom and her mom, you know, come home. Like it's like a blended type of family situation. But we end up having dinner, and like, it was great. And like, I was just the friend, and it was wonderful. Well, then like fast forward a couple months to when I was in a really bad car accident, and Mike and I had just started dating, and they came to the hospital because they wanted to like see me. And she's like, oh, I didn't know you guys were dating. She's like, it's nice to meet you. And I'm like, we've met before. And like, it was just so awkward. She's like, no, we haven't. I'm like, I've been to your house. Yeah, We've had dinner. To your house. I've met you. And I had met her, like, I had seen her multiple times between that first meeting and when my car accident happened.
Yeah.
So I was so drugged up from all the medication that I looked at Mike and I was like, am I going crazy? Have I met your mom before? Have I not met your mom? Like,
did I actually not go to your house?
Right. He's like, no, you definitely have like met and talked and like interacted with my mom before. I don't know why she's doing that. And to this day, to this day, 12, 13 years later, she will still say, the first time I met you was in the hospital. And I'm like, no, it's not. It is not the first time you met me. I met
did
you
come to
months
dinner at
prior
your
to
house.
that.
Yeah.
I had been to so many dinners. I'm like, no, that's not the case. But yeah, and because he had told her, he's like, my girlfriend was in a really bad car accident. Like, can you come to the hospital? She thought she was going there to see the girlfriend he had been dating.
The one that was in your wedding.
Yeah. So when she got there and saw me, she was like, oh, are they dating? Like, she didn't even know.
Yeah.
And I like being a boy, like, I'm like, okay, he didn't tell her. Like, obviously, like, that must be the case.
Tell her.
Oh, no, he told her. He told her. He was like, I very much told her that we were dating. Like, he's like, the day that we started dating, I geeked out. I definitely told her we were dating.
Really? That's
like,
so sweet, though.
Okay,
That's so cute.
I know. It's adorable.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, it's a little frustrating because I'm like, Ma, I've been in this family for 13 years. The first time we met was not at the hospital. It was months prior to that. And she just doesn't agree with me. So it is what it is.
Oh, well. It's like, I don't want to say that you weren't important until you were the girlfriend, but once you were the girlfriend, she could start to pay attention to you, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
She's
I leveled
girlfriend now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I leveled up, and then it became important. What about you when you met your in-laws?
Well, so we didn't really meet each other's parents until like 6 or 8 months in. Like, we waited a good long while to meet each other's parents because we were both like adults. Like, we were both out of college, both had working jobs. Like, so we met our parents in the same, I think, like, week or weekend because we went up for a festival.
Okay.
We went up there. He came with me. We hung out in that town. We like showed him all the sights, and he came back to my parents' house. So he like spent the night. We got up the next morning, and then his parents have like a lake house. So we went up to the lake house and I met his parents there. And he has a bunch of siblings. And I didn't really know this going in, but he has a bunch of siblings. And he has 2 twin sisters. And I met his 2 twin sisters and his mom and his dad up there, which was like really cool. Except I got so nervous because the twins were still really young. I could not tell them apart at all.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember going back and I'm like, are you able to tell them apart? Like, do you know which one's which? And he's like, not really. He's like, I just kind of guess and hope I'm right. But now that they're older, like, you can definitely tell them apart.
Oh, yeah.
And they have 2 completely different personalities, I feel like.
And
like,
they've grown into their own, like, individual person. They don't even look, like, the way that they, like, do their hair and makeup, the way that they like, dress, like, they don't even look alike anymore.
They're their own people now instead of, like, it's weird because I met them when they were, like 12 or 13. Like, they were kids, like, when I met them. And now they're, like, adults. And that's so weird.
Mike's sister, when we first got together, she was in, I think she was 11 or 12. Yeah, 11 or 12 when we first got together. And we were just talking about how her birthday and my daughter's birthday are in the same month. And she's going to be like 27, 28 this year. And I'm like, I feel so old. I was like, this is insane. So yeah, I get it.
Yes. I know we're all about the bitching here.
Oh, yeah.
But today I got some, like, dating stories for us.
Okay.
But I wanted to do, like, embarrassing or weird worst date stories. I found, like, the first article I clicked on, I found one that was so cute where I was like, I can't not put this in here. So the first one I have is the 17 first date stories that are so pure and wonderful you might not recover. And it's from BuzzFeed.
Okay.
It's so cute. This one's from Meredith W. I went on a Bumble date and I met a guy at a restaurant where you could see small airplanes take off and land as you eat. I knew the guy was a pilot, but had no idea that later he would teach me how to fly the airplane. I took off. He flew me over the city of Chicago at sunset, flew over my hometown, and gave me the best first date I've ever been on.
That is so cute.
Isn't it?
So cute.
It's so cute. I was like,
I want to put this in there. You know this. Mike went and got his pilot's license.
Wait, did he actually get his license? He's licensed?
Oh, yeah, he's had his license. Yeah, he's licensed.
I didn't know that.
He's been trying for years. Obviously not right now while I'm pregnant because I'm not doing that. But he's been trying for years to get me to go up in a plane with him. They are little jumper planes. They are little tiny,
puddle jumpers.
Itty bitty, you feel every movement plane. I'm not afraid of heights. I totally would do it. I'm afraid of my husband because he would get up there and he'd be like, watch this. And then he'd like try to do tuck and rolls.
Would.
And I'm not about that life. So the fact that this guy was like, let me teach you. And that's just so sweet. Yeah. And depending on where they were, expensive, because Mike and I were talking about this. And just to go from one little airport to the next in our hometown, It's so expensive.
Is it really?
Yeah, you have to pay not only for the gas, but you have to pay like the landing, the lifting off, like the storing it while you're there per hour. So like it's expensive.
Wait, you have to pay to land and take off? Mm-hmm. That's crazy. I didn't know you had to do that.
Yeah, depending on where you're at and like your state and everything. But I mean, I wouldn't say it's outrageously expensive, but compared to the story about the guy using a Arby's, was it Arby's? Applebee's gift card on the first date.
It was a Chili's gift card. He was using a Chili's
gift card. So compared to that, this one was awesome.
This guy taught her how to fly a plane. So we see who's going to end up with a good one here.
He must have been the wind beneath her wings.
If you're listening, that's the kind of man you should go for. The one who's going to take you to fly over the city of Chicago at sunset, not the one who pays for your first date with a Chili's gift card. So,
amen.
Yes.
Amen.
All right. Now that we did all the heartwarming stuff, we're going to go into the 13 embarrassing first date stories from the Odyssey Online.
Okay, so we're going to nosedive now.
Yeah, we're going to nosedive because we were just on a plane, so we got to take a nosedive. So, a few years back, I went on a date with this girl who was 23 and I was 19 at the time, but I wanted to seem cooler. So I said I was 20, turning 21 soon. We got to the bar early enough so I could get in and she got us both drinks. I was freaking out the whole time. Then one of her friends did some snooping, found out I was only turning 20 and called me out. My date gets angry that she got tricked into going out with basically a high schooler. We stopped talking, but then a week later, she started dating one of my first friends, and I saw her all the time for 6 months after that.
That's insane. First off, boo to you for lying about your age. Never okay.
Yeah.
And like, good for her for being like, no, you're too young. Bye. Like, that's a smart move.
Yeah. You never know. She could be getting into a lot of trouble for that.
Absolutely, she could, especially for giving her alcohol.
Yeah. Don't lie to your friends about your age because that's not cool. All right. So for the next one. Mm-hmm. One time I was set up by my friend to go out with her boyfriend's best friend. We went to one of those Japanese restaurants where they cook right in front of you, sitting with a big group of people. I went to the bathroom, and when I came back, the guy asked for a booster seat for me to sit on. It was awkward for everyone and so mean of him. I ate my dinner at the bar and left. He even asked me on a second date, and of course I said no.
Like, why?
From two short people.
Yeah, I'm not super tall. I'm pretty vertically challenged.
Yeah.
There's a whole world up there I know nothing about.
I would not be okay with that.
No, I'd be angry.
I would be so angry if someone did that.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
I have friends
I feel
who
like
are shorter than me and still don't need one. Like, no adult needs a booster seat.
I feel like there are probably times where like both of our guys would joke about it, but to actually ask for it.
No, that's too much.
No,
that's
not okay. No second date for you.
No second date. All right. So for the next one, I met this guy at a local Mexican restaurant where we had dinner in a marg. Normally I would be fine but for some reason when we got to the baseball game, I felt so nauseous. Maybe it was the Chinese I had for lunch. Mexican, Chinese, and tequila, not a good combo for future reference. I knew it was about to happen, and I ran behind a bus in the parking lot and threw up. I turned around, super embarrassed, and he was right there. He even offered for me to wipe my mouth on his shirt, which I denied immediately. Luckily, I puked and rallied and had the great rest of the first date.
I mean, that's really sweet that he didn't just run away. I hope that our girl had some way of cleaning her mouth and some gum, because if this was going to end with a first date kiss, it would not taste good after all that coming back up. Ugh. But, I mean, it sounds like it was a good date.
I don't want to wipe my face on his shirt.
No. It was sweet for him to offer, but no.
That's gross. Yeah, no. I probably wouldn't have offered, but I'm also not a very nice person. So.
But the drama, Brandy. The drama.
The drama. The drama is what we're here for.
Well, speaking of drama.
Welcome to our podcast, The Drama Podcast.
Yes, where we bitch a lot. Speaking of drama, so I have some stories from Reddit. This is, what is your worst first date story?
Okay.
So, met him first time for dinner that night. All of a sudden, he held my foot, took off my shoe, and ran away with it. Never saw him or the shoe again. I'm not exactly certain if it's the worst, but it's in the top 5 for sure.
You have to pay for that. You just can't take my shoe off my foot and run away. You better be paying for that.
A lot of people pay for that.
Those shoes aren't free.
Shoes aren't free.
A lot of people pay for that. And if you want my shoe, you better be paying me for it.
My thing is, if you have a foot fetish, why are you not taking the time to like enjoy the foot? Why are you just stealing the shoe?
Why are you just taking the shoe?
Right?
Have you seen the video of the girl at the gas station where he's like, how much can I give you for your socks?
Yes.
But then she takes her socks off in front of him. I'm like, nah, he has to pay extra to see me.
Yeah, I'd be going to the bathroom.
Actually see my foot, he has to pay for that.
I love how we're both sitting here like totally okay with it being like a foot fetish type of thing. We're not okay. We are not foot fetish people. But
No.
there are people out there, and I am not going to kink shame, especially if we can make money off of it.
But if someone's going to take my shoe, I better be getting money for it.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying. I better be getting some compensation for that, because now I have to go buy a new pair of shoes. So you better at least be paying me double. You know, you're keeping that shoe and I need new ones.
Like, how do you explain to people as you're walking back to your car, you're like, yeah, I got one shoe. Ask me why. Like, sorry, officer, I can't pay that speeding ticket. I have to get home so I can put a shoe on.
Sorry, this weird guy just stole my shoe, so I need to go home.
He's like the Little Mermaid version with thingamabobs, only he likes shoes. All right, this next one is by Anon. I went to pick her up. She insisted on driving her car instead. Within 20 minutes, she ran a stop sign and got us T-boned. She tried to beg the other, completely not at fault driver to not call the police, which of course made him call even faster. She then confesses to me that she doesn't have an active driver's license and was borrowing her friend's car. So why the fuck did she insist on driving when I was already planning on driving? Once the cops arrived and I was assured that I was in the clear, I got the hell out of there. Like, what?
I would never see her again.
No.
You know?
No. I feel bad for the friend.
Why would you insist on driving when you don't have a driver's? Why would you insist on driving to begin with?
Yep.
You know?
Yep. I mean, was she like pre-gaming or something? I mean, I don't know. But like, I feel bad for the friend because does the friend know that she has an active driver's license or not? And B,
Probably
the friend's
not.
car is destroyed.
The friend's car's destroyed, so that sucks for them because you know she's not paying the money for it. 2, I'm sure the friend wouldn't have given her the car if they knew she didn't have a driver's license. But if they did give the car to her, like knowing that she didn't have a driver's license, I will say that's their fault because they shouldn't have let her have their car.
And being a 30-year-old adult, like my first instinct is, oh my God, that auto insurance is going to go through the roof. Your monthly premium is going to go through the roof. And that's all I'm thinking about. Knowing that everybody was safe and no one got hurt, that's instantly where my mind goes.
It's like, I'm going to have to pay so much more money now.
Yep.
Thanks, friend. We're not friends anymore.
Nope, not friends anymore. Okay, so this next group of stories, it's dating stories, first date woes. What was something your date did that turned you off after meeting them for the first time? So this one's from Reddit by Abby Van Buren. This is 5 years ago. His empty coffee cup blew away on the beach. I said, you aren't going to pick that up? Nah, I litter all the time. If I have McDonald's, I just throw it out the window on the interstate. That's what prisoners are for.
I think you should be a prisoner. Don't litter.
Don't
litter.
That's horrible. That's so bad.
Yeah. I would never go out with him again. Like, just, it's not that hard to go home and throw your cup away.
It's not
that hard.
That's so, like...
It's not that hard to have a bag in your car to put your trash in and throw it out once a week. It's not that hard.
It's not. And being on the beach, like, so many animals. Like, that could hurt so many animals.
And, I'm sorry, kids playing on the beach.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't care about the animals, there are human children playing on the beach that are, like, that's going to be there.
Yep.
They shouldn't have to touch your dirty coffee cup.
This next one is by Edgar Pickle, and I just want to take a moment and say how much I love that screen name, Edgar Pickle. If I ever get another animal, I'm naming it Edgar Pickle. So this is from 2 years ago. He says, "I've shared this before, but just let me say that I swear that every word of this is true." You know it's ominous when it starts that way. Back in college, I met this girl and asked her if I could take her out to dinner. She said yes. I was ecstatic. Well, then I had to figure out where to take her to give her an idea of who I am and what I'm about. So I tried to do something that was thoughtful. I've learned that there are 2 types of gifts, expensive and thoughtful. If you can't do expensive, which I couldn't, then you'd better go hard on the thoughtful. I think that's really wise.
Okay. Yeah, that's really nice and thoughtful.
Yeah.
But okay, this is starting out. He seems good. I'm scared where this is going to go.
This was taking place in the U.S. South, but she was a freshman from Pennsylvania. I started thinking about things that could be new and interesting for her. The answer came to me in a flash. Bojangles. I would take her to Bojangles. It's cheap. It used to have fairly decent food, but most of all, it's Southern, and we'd be able to discuss regional differences in food and culture. Of course, it's also fast food. Really crappy fast food. Okay.
Have you ever been to Bojangles?
I've never been.
Okay, I've also never been to Bojangles.
Okay. If anybody has been to Bojangles, like,
Yeah.
let us know.
What kind
like,
of fast, like Chick-fil-A is
like
great
Chick-fil-A fast food.
Yeah.
I love how we both said that.
Yeah. You let us know. You let us know how it ranges on the, you leave it in the comments below.
Yeah.
How's it range in fast food?
All right, so the evening of the date arrived. I drove her to the place and talked all about fried chicken and the South and tea and how it must be different from the North. We got there and ordered at the register, then moved down to pick up our tray of food. Fancy, huh? We waited and waited. I tried to make some small talk, you know, the small talk you make when something could interrupt your conversation at any moment. Then we waited some more and more. My dinner, fried chicken, was on the tray. The drinks were on the tray. Her sandwich was not. So we stood there with the silence growing more and more awkward. Minutes rolled by that felt like ages. Finally, an employee noticed us standing there and said, "Did you need something?" I said yes, that we needed her sandwich. The employee turned around and grabbed the sandwich from the place it had been sitting the whole time we'd been standing there. And then put it on the tray like it had been there since the beginning. Not a great start. I mean, that's not his fault.
That's not his fault, no.
Like, I mean, it's not his fault.
Yeah.
I picked up the tray and started walking back to a table with her, but there was an issue. Bojangles used to have the best sweet tea, so I always got a large. The cups they use for the larges are the kind that are smaller at the bottom, so they'll fit in your cup holder in your car. That's great for a car, but not so great for balancing them on a tray. It fell over. Fortunately, it fell over on the tray, but not before knocking her drink off of the tray onto the floor. She got the smaller drink, which came in the waxed paper cup instead of the plastic cup that the larges are in. That's important because it means that when her cup hit the ground at about 30-degree angle, the cup crushed and launched the liquid inside out like a cannon onto her foot, drenching her in Pepsi or Coke or some other soft drink. That sucks.
This poor girl.
I feel bad.
It was just not meant to be in the stars. No. It just wasn't meant to be in the stars.
Being gentlemanly, I went and got her a new drink, got back to the table and started trying to eat. I had ordered fried chicken, which I realized would mean that I had to eat with my fingers, which was stupid on a first date. Not wanting to look dumber, I decided I'd try to avoid eating with my fingers by using the plastic cutlery provided by the store, which would have been a fine idea if not for the fact that Bojangles only provides you with a spork. Not a fork, not a spoon, not a knife, a spork. A plastic spork to be exact. I'm trying to pry the chicken off the bone with this plastic spork and it's going nowhere. I can't get the chicken off the bone. I dug in a little deeper and really pulled, which bent the spork back a little, which served as a spring to launch my chicken breast across the table. I actually caught it before it could hit the floor.
Oh.
I feel so bad.
This whole date was not meant to
He
happen.
tried so
it's not
hard.
meant to happen. I know he's trying so hard, but it is not in the stars.
I remember thinking to myself, well, just enjoy this chicken because this date is going nowhere. I decided to just forget it and eat the dang chicken with my fingers. She was obviously not going to be going out with me anymore, so I decided not to worry about impressing her, just try to get out of the situation without looking any dumber than I already did. I reached down and pulled off a nice piece of chicken with my fingers, and I missed my mouth. Seriously, I jammed the chicken onto my face. I don't know how I missed it, but I did. I just missed, which of course smeared chicken grease all over my cheek. The girl was looking at me like she was waiting for me to tell her, "It's just a prank, bro." I felt so dumb. We finished eating in silence. Finally, I said, "Well, let me take you back to your dorm." I gathered up all the trash on the tray, walked over to the garbage can, and accidentally threw the whole thing into the trash. All of it. Cups, the sporks, napkins, the tray, all of it. I looked at the girl, she looked at me, and we both ran to the car.
I would have done the same thing. I wasn't going to pull it out of the trash.
Absolutely. I agree. I would not be pulling that out. I've had some other bad dating experiences, but this one took the cake. I also remember being shocked when the car started when we were leaving after the night I'd had. I was fully expecting to have to walk the several miles back to the campus in the dark. My man, do not give up on love because he deserves it after being a champ for that date. I hope she didn't, like, if that had happened, I would have laughed along. Like, I would hope that people would not be mean enough to be like, "You're a horrible first date." We've read some horrible first dates. That's not bad.
That wasn't terrible. It was just awkward and uncomfortable. It was just awkward. I hope he did better on his next date. Whether it was with the same person or not. I hope it was better.
I hope they didn't go back to Bojangles.
I don't think that's their place. I think they should give up on Bojangles. So,
yeah, probably.
So the next one that I have for you is I am a Swiftie. And at first it says, editing to add a sincere apology for how long this post is. So this is going to be a long one. So here we go. One of the guys who worked at my gym asked me to hang out one time. I said yes. This was early in the week. When the day of our plans got closer, I asked if he had any thoughts on what we should do, and he said we could think of something. Come to the day of the plans, I still hadn't heard back on him, what we were doing, so when we were discussing what time to meet up, I asked again. His response was something along the lines of, wherever the wind blows us. I didn't have much time to think about anything, which is wild to me because the man had asked days ago. But whatever, he was hot, so I went along with this. That was mistake number 1. I drove over to his apartment, and he drives us to the date. That's mistake number 2.
Oh, no.
About 2 minutes into the drive, he cracks open a can of some sort. I look down, and what do I see that he just opened? A White Claw. While driving.
Oh, no.
Uh-huh. I questioned it. He offered me one. I declined, figuring at least one of us should not be drinking, and that was that. I asked him a third time where we were going, and it turns out there was no real plan for the evening. I was expecting we go to dinner and drinks or something, so I didn't eat beforehand. That's mistake number 3. We were just driving around and talking, and then when we arrive at destination number 1, a really popular park in my city. Keep in mind, it was probably 8:30 at night, dark, and generally not a time where you would want to be in a park with a man you're hanging out with for the first time. We get out of the car and walk to a spot with a nice water view, and we just chat for 45 minutes, and then we get back into his car and drive to a random lookout point where we chat for another 30 minutes or so. We end up talking about fast food French fries and where our favorites were, and turns out I had never tried his favorite, KFC. Where do we go next, you ask? KFC. It was probably 9:30, 10 at this point, so I still had not had actual dinner, so I wasn't too mad about this, to be honest. To keep things condensed here is the rest of our itinerary for the night. We drove around to another park while he tells me about his work drama that he's involved in, while consuming 2 more White Claws.
My man.
I know.
Ugh.
We drive back to his apartment complex, not to end the night, no, but to grab his 2 dogs. This was my out, and I didn't take it. Mistake number 4. We then drive to, you guessed it, one more park. It's like 11:30, 12 at this point, and I'm starving as we're heading back to his apartment. Not a lot of late night food options where I live, so I just planned on getting some sort of gas station food on my way home. He offers to buy us pizza though, so I say, sure, why not? I would love a free meal right now. We get the pizza, head up to his apartment. One of the first few things I noticed being a hole punched in his wall. And we sit and eat our pizza in silence while he watches this weird comedy series on YouTube. I finally tell him I'm gonna go home. I get a very enthusiastic goodbye. I believe his exact words were, fuck it, and drove the hell home. I received a text the next day saying it was clear I wasn't feeling it, and then he switched gym locations and I haven't seen him.
Not feeling it? Bro, not only are you drinking and driving, you have a weird obsession with parks, which, not okay. Those are literally... It's literally put into us women's DNA. Do not go to a dark park with a man that you don't know at night. Like, why would you think that's okay?
You put no thought into this date. You wanted to go on a date with me. You said, I'll think of something, and then you just neglected to think of something. So that's that's your fault. No. So yeah, I would not be. No, of course I'm not.
No,
feeling it.
I'm not feeling it. I'm lucky. At that point, I'd be like, I'm lucky I didn't become it like a Dateline story, like. Drinking and driving, going to creepy parks at night, holes in walls. Like, nope, I'm good.
As soon as I've been driving around to 3 different parks with you, I'd be like,
yes,
I have an emergency and I have to leave. I forgot to feed my dog.
That's one of those situations where,
I gotta go home.
All right, I'm going on a first date. I'm telling my best friend so she can pin my location. And if I see you going to 3 different parks, I'm calling the cops.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I've got one more for you.
Okay.
So, summer of 99. Home after my freshman year of college. First date with a girl I'd been crushing on for like a year. Before I left the house, I went out and picked a flower from the garden. Aww. Arrived at her house to pick her up. Handed the flower to her saying I thought it'd look pretty in her hair. That is adorable.
That's so sweet.
That's so sweet.
That's so sweet.
So sweet. She took the flower, put it in her hair. We got in the car and drove to the restaurant. We sat across from each other. I was admiring the flower in her hair when I suddenly noticed the ants.
Oh no. Oh no, you went to a restaurant with ants in your hair from the flower, but like she can't be mad at it. Like she can't be.
I would be mad. I would be furious.
Ants bite.
But here's the thing: do you tell her?
Yeah, yes. You have to tell her. Yeah, you have to tell her. Be like, I'm so sorry. There's something in that flower. Can you take it out of your hair and then throw it on the ground? You have to tell her.
The second you tell her, date's done. Like, you got to be like, listen, you've got ants in your hair. We're gonna go home. You need to shower.
Yeah, you need to.
We need to comb through your hair.
Bite. Have you ever gotten? They hurt.
Oh, Yeah.
All
and it's
the
bad.
bugs bite me. Like, some people don't get bitten by bugs. All the bugs bite me. So I've been bitten by everything. And ants leave bug bites. It's not fun.
I'm literally getting like itchy now thinking about it. Ugh.
It's okay. It's winter. We don't have ants right now. It's fine.
True.
Do you want me to do this last one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I don't really know how to say this name. So I'm just gonna shorten it to MP because I don't know how to say it. So when I was 16 and as I was walking home from my mate's house, this takes place in Australia, I think. I want to preface that. It takes place, I think, in Australia, New Zealand, just from the way it's written. So I was about 16, and as I was walking home from my mate's house, passing by a bus stop where this good-looking older girl, maybe 19 to 20, was waiting for the bus. I said, "Good day," as I passed, and she said hi back. Then called out to me, so I turned around and started talking to her. I don't remember what we talked about, but she said she lived just across the road and we should hang out one time. I told her where I lived and that she should pop over anytime. So a couple days later, I get home from being out, and my dad said a girl came over asking about me. He told her that I would be home later. She knocks at the door, I answer it, and we hug, and she asks if I want to come over to her place. I just thought this girl was lonely.
That's a really nice, like, really sweet meet cute.
Yeah, it is. So I just thought this girl was lonely and wanted a little bit of company. And because we kind of hit it off with a comfortable chatter the first time, she just wanted to hang out. She worked on the mines and was only back for a week every 3 weeks. We walked to her place. She holds my arm against her like we were a couple, and I found strange, but whatever. She wants to stop off at the shops on the way, and the only thing she gets is strawberries and cream. I get none of these hints, and I just think she likes to eat the stuff as a bit of a treat.
Oh boy.
We get back to her place and both just sit on the couch, her legs over me as we chat, and she's dipping the strawberries in the cream and kind of seductively eating them, which makes me feel a bit silly because I've never been in that situation. She asked if I wanted a bong hit, to which I accepted as I did and still do love a smoke of the little wacky tobacco. We get wasted, we sit back on the couch. This time, she's leaning up against me with my arms around her. She asked me if I want to do anything. Me being the absolute moron says, "Nah, this is nice."
Oh no.
After another hit and more strawberries, she's now feeding me and I'm feeding her.
Oh
She
boy.
looks up at me with a pouty little smile. "Are you sure you don't want to do anything?" "I guess we could go for a walk," is my answer. Okay, sure. So we go for a walk and I see one of my mates walking, so I call him and we chat for a bit. He asked if I want to go kick the footy and I said, "Yeah, sure," and basically leaves this girl to go kick the footy. And that's how I remained a virgin for another year. It didn't occur to me that it was a bad date until I considered it from her point of view. I felt bad for her after it all sunk in while I was going to bed that night. I'm such an idiot. A few days later, I went to her place. We hung out again, but it was very awkward, and the next time I went to see her, her place was empty, and I never saw her again.
That's all okay. That's a really bittersweet story. I feel for him, but okay.
Because he didn't know any better.
He's 16 and she's 20.
He didn't know.
The first thing I'm going to say is,
Yeah.
if the roles were reversed and he was 20 and she was 16, all of us would be like, ew, not okay.
Yeah.
So part of me wants to be like, ew, not okay. Because not only did she go to the house and get this 16-year-old for a very specific reason,
But does she...
she seduced him with strawberry and cream. And then she asked him if he wants some wacky tobacco. Like, if the roles were reversed, it would not be okay.
But does she know that he's 16?
I don't know. I don't know that. But
I assume he never told her his age and that she just assumed they were around the same age.
True.
But also, when I was 20 and I looked at a 16-year-old, I could tell the difference, you know? I knew if you were in high school or not in high school. Like, there's a specific difference between, like, 16 and 20.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of gross in one point. It's kind of like a bittersweet thing. I feel like if he had lost his virginity with her, it would be just gross all around. But because he was so innocent the whole time and it just didn't happen, that it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. And that's today's episode of the Bitching Babes podcast. If you loved it, tell a friend. If you hated it, no, you didn't. Bye, babes.
Bye. Thank you for tuning in to the Bitching Babes. This is your friendly reminder to blow out your candle and hydrate responsibly. We'll see you next time.